So this is machine shoulder press, okay? So all shoulder press machines are going to be different. You're not really going to get plate loaded ones very often. This is a plate loaded one, which is quite rare. Usually you're going to get ones that are like pins. So usually you just sit in the seat, you put a pin in, and that's you ready to go, okay? But doesn't make a difference, they're all the same. The only thing that makes a shoulder press is where your hands are, which is if I'm sitting and I push up, it's a fucking shoulder press, okay? Now, here's where a lot of people go wrong on shoulder press machines. And a lot of shoulder press machines are actually designed extremely poorly, where they force your hands way too far back, okay? If you sit like this and you rotate your hand up like this and you try to bring the hand back, it's immediately uncomfortable on the shoulder, okay? It's not how your shoulder is designed. If you understand anatomy, your elbows are not meant to be here and then move up overhead, okay? It's not good for you at all. What you want, if possible, is your hands to be more in front of you. As more in front of you as possible. This is training your shoulders better than if the elbows are wider, and it's also safer. So see the way there's a variation of handles here? If I have a choice, I would never pick these wider ones like this because it's just not as good. I'm going to pick the ones that are slightly more in front of me, okay? Now, with that being said, I don't want the hands to be too low. See if I'm down here, it's very weak. You can see that the elbow and then the wrist are not in line, so it's pointing like this way. I want the hand to be roughly above the elbow. I always want to think about it as like a pillar holding up a roof. This goes for barbell bench, chest press, any pressing movement. You want to think strong line from wrist to elbow. So if I'm sitting here, now there's a relatively strong line. Like that's comfortable for me. There's not too much of a stretch, and I have my hand above the elbow, okay? The handle position relative to the shoulder depends on your shoulder flexibility. I am relatively okay here. I could be a little bit higher, meaning I could adjust this seat up slightly, but I don't want to be too high up, because if I start up with the seat much too high, I'm at too much of a stretch here. That's not comfortable for me. I can feel it already pulling on the delt, and it's just not my natural range of motion. You do want to get the biggest range of motion you can get and the most stretch you can get, but that's within your own natural limits. If I'm going too far, then it's not going to help me. So for me, that is perfectly fine, okay? Something that's underappreciated on not just shoulder press, but any pressing movement is your feet. If you're sitting like this and your fucking feet are tippy-tapping about when you're doing it, you're leaving 20% of your strength on the ground, okay? Your feet are planted firmly into the point where you should feel your quads properly engaging, okay? So firmly planting the feet, thinking about pushing yourself up the machine. Like I'm thinking in that way. If I was doing the repetition, if I let go with my hands but didn't stop doing what I'm doing with my legs, I would literally move. Like that's how much I'm pushing through the feet, okay? So feet planted, hands like this, and then what I'm doing is I'm driving up, not to full lockout, almost full lockout. This maintains tension on the delt much better. So my legs are engaged, my feet are pushing. I come down nice and slow, I'm inhaling on the way down, big exhale on the way up, almost lockout, back down again, back up, just like that, down nice and slow, back up, almost lockout. Where I can use the lockout is when I'm getting to the point of fatigue. So if, for example, I'm doing a set of 10, I've hit 9, I don't feel as though I'm going to be able to get that 10th rep, or I'm struggling to get, and I want to get 1 or 2 extra ones, I can allow myself to lock out, give myself a few seconds rest, and then maybe squeeze out an extra rep or 2 because of that. So I only want to use the lockout if it's going to let me get 1 or 2 extra reps right at the end. I don't want to start the setup with the lockout because that's just taking too much tension off the shoulders. So that is machine shoulder press.